Hey buds, today we run a train on some nugs
We cover news stories ranging from a city that needs to chill the fuck out to a state that needs to chill the fuck out.
and an interview with some quiz questions because we couldn't get a guest this week. We were way too high.
All of this and more today on the Good Buds podcast.
Let's blow some smokestacks.
Welcome to the Good Buds podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. I'm Curtis,
I'm Shank.
and this is episode 23, airing Monday, February 8th, 2021, on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
Before we start, I'd like to thank Lumenspot and My High Shop for sponsoring this episode. Check out the links down below in the description, and we'll talk more about that later. For now, Curtis, how you doing today?
Well, Shank, I am doing fantastic. I got a solid haul today. So again, all I can say is we have a good episode for you today. We're gonna have a great episodes for you for the next coming weeks. We have some we got some dang stuff. But you can always follow all that stuff, and we'll tell you a little bit about that. But Shank, how's your day been?
Honestly, my day was much the same, man. I got a little bit of a haul as well, and I am super excited for these next few episodes that are going to be coming out. You know, our Valentine's Day episode especially is going to be so romantic. Frankly, I'm stoked, man. Like I had a great day, I had a wonderful day, and as always, recording the podcast for these people, I love it. Like and just hanging out with you, man. It's awesome. It's a great time. So I'm having a good
Absolutely.
day.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. Always loving it.
Big time, big time. Now, before we get on with the show, though, I would love if I could remind the people at home to check out our Facebook and our Instagram and our Twitter because we've got some really great behind the scenes stuff and some funny content on there that I think you guys would love. And you can jump on our Discord if you want to because we've got some great conversation there and we check in daily. So far, it's a little bit of a ghost town, but if we see something on there, we're going to jump on it like me on a cupcake. And I do love me some cupcakes. So
Can confirm.
yeah, so links down below in the descriptions, guys. So you can check it out, and we'll see you there. We would love to have you go there.
And if you also like what we're doing and you want to support the show, you can check out our Patreon page where you can donate there. We have several tiers that you can choose from, including behind the scenes content exclusive for Patreon and the ability to listen in on our show live, maybe ask some questions, stuff like that. But again, links are down below.
He's absolutely right. If you do that, you can join our wonderful list of patrons, such as Isaac.
Yeah, seriously, we're a couple more patrons would be really cool.
Yeah, that's all we got. He's absolutely right. Now let's get on with the review, Curtis.
Absolutely.
Good Buds Review, Good Buds.
All right, Curtis. So what are you burning today, brother?
Well, Shank, today I am burning on some fantastic purple train wreck.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Now this strain it's a very nice hybrid strain. The initial parents of it are we have Trainwreck and Mendocino Perps. Very interesting combination of flavors there. And again, this was grown by some private growers in Detroit. This one specifically was Duber's Metro.
I love the name, Duber's Metro.
Exactly.
Great
Duber's
name.
Metro. And the overall look of this is fantastic, but it's interesting and a little misleading. So
Yeah.
it's a dense and very tightly packed nug, very well rounded, well shaped, well trimmed, and everything. The color is what's making me, weird on this because it's fully green, like it's minty and lime green. It has this short and curly orange hairs, like little curly cues just on the side of it that spread out.
Mm-hmm.
And it has this small amount of crystal, like, nothing too major, but it does have nice dusting.
Yeah.
But with a name like Purple Trainwreck, I was really expecting a lot more purple. Like,
Yeah. That's
really not all that much to it.
well, you hear purple in the name, yeah, you expect purple, right? Yeah.
Exactly. But it's
Not too
still
much to ask.
it's still a great looking nug all in all. So I got some ground up here that I'm gonna, use for our scent. And oh, I found the purple.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, you have to grind up the weed. It's like a hidden little Easter egg, but there is some very clear, like solid purple specks in there now that look very fancy.
So it's on the inside.
It's what's on the inside that matters.
It's what's on the inside that's why they call that's why they named it after purple, because it's what's on the inside that counts.
Add in a little star, a little ding ding ding.
Yeah,
Like the more you know type thing.
Yeah, the more
post.
you know. It's what's on the inside.
But anyway, so while I got this open and looking at these very nice little purple flakes that are very obvious now. That scent is fantastic because it's a deep yet strong, fruity and earthy scent. It's like it's got these nice little tones of kind of orange but kind of tropical, like almost artificial fruity scent. And it's got like the earthy scent is kind of just subtle in the background, but it's kind of earthy and peppery at the same time. A very peppery back scent as well. I don't know. All in all, it smells like a well-balanced breakfast. It's interesting, but it smells like oatmeal, Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles, some orange juice, maybe some pepper sprinkled on your eggs.
Nice.
It's interesting. It just smells like a well-balanced breakfast, and I hope the hit and the taste and the flavor and everything is also well-balanced, but we'll check that in a second. But before that,
sounds nice.
Shank, what are you smoking for the people today?
Today I will be smoking some number 516 Sonic Express. All aboard!
Sonic Express!
Yeah, man. The Sonic Express, it's a hybrid sativa. This one was grown by Haven Street Premium Cannabis Company. It's a proprietary strain that's grown by them, but it is technically something that's already a street strain that's also known as Sage and Sour.
Sage and Sour?
And Sage and Sour. And that means, or another name for it would be Sativa Afghani Genetic Equilibrium and Sour Diesel. Which is a little bit, it's a little bit of a mouthful. I can see why they made the acronym of Sage and Sour. It just makes sense, right?
I like Sonic Express better.
I like Sonic Express, man. Sonic Express is a magnificent.
Is that just
name.
a random name, or?
No, that is that is a name. That is an official name. That Sativa Afghani Genetic Equilibrium is a strain of cannabis.
No, I mean number 516. Is that a random, or is that an actual train?
No, it's actually it's named after a train.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's actually named after a train, so it fits very well with your purple train wreck.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So, but as for these nugs, man, they're beautiful looking. They are some tight, bulky, very crystal coated nugs. They have this almost like beautiful rock salt that we talk about every now and then. Look how it has the crystals, but it's coated with a fine dusting of it as well. You know, you get that, so you get a little bit of both.
Right.
And it's like really, really pretty, man. And like it shimmers like when you hit it with light. It's got a nice shimmery effect.
So it kind of has like that chandelier effect where it's like the small crystals are glowing and then the big crystals are shimmering, slightly different but better.
100%, man. That's exactly it. That's like the chandelier effect would be a good way to put it, because it really just any kind of light that hits it makes it look even more beautiful. And to add to that, it has these nice orange hairs that accent all the crevices on the bud. It's not all over coating like the last week's Wookiee episode. Like this one looks like it's been sponsored by Manscaped, which we're not. Manscaped, hit me up. But
need one.
Need one. Need two. Look at my face. I need one. Well, you can't see it, but look at my animated face.
You know what? Yes.
Yeah, Curtis, we don't need to be on Drama Alert yet. But Keemstar, hit us up. But anyway, so but the orange hairs are really what sells this to me, because they've got a nice gradient to them. Like they're so long and flowing that you can see a beautiful like light orange to dark orange kind of color gradient on them. And it's so nice to look at. Like beautiful. And I'm not talking about what Curtis needs to shave. But as for the smell of this, I gotta say, man, the smell of this is one of my favorite aspects. Oh man, it's so nice. Like, listen to that.
Ooh,
those nugs rattle, right? But
little chunky nugs.
I know, right? Gorgeous. But it's got a super strong lemon and diesel scent that just sticks around in your sinuses. When you get a whiff of this, I've closed the jar. It's an airtight jar, and I can still smell it. Like it's in front of my nose because of that whiff I took, and it's going to be there for probably a little bit.
Lingering.
It lingers, and I love that. Like it's a very clean smell, and it's really tart, but it has this like sweet candy quality that I absolutely friggin' love when it comes to like just any kind of like cannabis. I love that candy quality. It's magnificent, man.
Cannabis.
The candy best, you're right. And now, before we try these, obviously, I do want to let people know once again to check out our Instagram. There will be links below in the description. If you're not watching this on YouTube, which you totally should be, our YouTube is lit. But if you're not watching this on YouTube, where you could already be seeing these beautiful nugs right now, you can go to our Instagram and subscribe there, or just check us out. And I recommend subscribing because or following us because we post really cool stuff. But you will see all of these beautiful nugs posted there for your viewing enjoyment, as well as some other cool behind the scenes stuff. So just check it out. Instagram, link in the description at Good Buds Podcast.
And on top of that, if you also want to, just personally say, hey, I like Shake, or hey, personally, I like Curtis. So you can also follow our personal Instagrams. I'm over at Good Buds Curtis.
And I'm over at Good Buds Shank, and we would love to see you guys there. Like, personally, I mean, Curtis posts the most killer bong hoot videos that you could ever see, and I love watching them. So,
and Shank rolls some beautiful, beautiful joints and smokes them in his equally as beautiful mask.
Oh, I loves it. I loves it. And we would love to see you guys there. And obviously, if you follow me and you've got some interesting stuff going on, I will probably follow you back because I loves people.
We all love people.
Yeah,
we
all loves people.
Like we always say, we're trying to grow. We want to grow a community.
Yeah. We are growing like strong buds. That's right. So now,
and just like
obviously,
strug buds, they have to be smoked.
That's true. And Curtis, I think we should try these.
I agree. Shank, do you have your bong ready?
I got my bong right here.
Then I think we all know what time it is. Buds, grab your lighters, get your bongs, bong hoot time, tokes kaboke, let's blaze it.
Oh man. Ooh, buddy. Curtis, man, how'd that taste for you today, brother?
Huh. It's a very smooth, but also very light hit. Like, I don't know, it has some solid fruity notes to it.
Yeah.
It definitely has the peppery aftertaste, but it kind of mellows out kind of quickly. I don't know, man. I'm not saying that this is bad, but all in all, it's not a whole lot special. I know that the purple train wreck usually has a lower THC because it's supposed to be like calming, type of weed, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's not really doing a whole lot special, but I'm gonna take a second bong hit while you tell the fine folk how's that tasted.
For sure, man, for sure. Well, mine tasted really nice. It was a very clean, very subtle taste, but it was lemon forward, with this nice shot of diesel sitting in the back of it. Frankly, it was one of those well-rounded flavors that kind of just you feel it in your chest, but it's got an excellent head hit, and I like the taste of it. It's very lemony, very diesely. Good flavor.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I enjoy it, man. It was really, really tasty. Yeah.
Whew. Okay. Hate to cut you off there, but okay.
Yeah.
Round 2, fight. Damn. Okay. So I took the second hit.
Okay.
This is a 2-hitter strain. Like, you're definitely gonna need 2 hits, but once you get that 2 hit, damn, you feel it. The second hit,
Nice.
like the first hit, kind of just coats the mouth, and that second one, whew, rode down the throat, straight to the lungs, and made it all nummy and funny. It kind of shot to the cerebral a little bit, very nice, and whew, I get a lot more of the fruity flavor, a lot more of that peppery, some slight earthy tones that help mellow out that peppery, which I couldn't pin on before, but it's definitely an earthy flavor that helps mellow out that peppery. All in
Nice.
all, this is a really good fucking strain, and I just immediately got because of it.
No, that's fantastic, man. I love that. So that's what this podcast is all about. I certainly don't mind Curtis stepping in there to let you guys know, because now you hit that stuff twice and you really get that full flavor. So
A
just,
spice,
keep that in, yeah.
A spice so nice you hit it twice, and then you're getting high as fuck.
Yeah, it's like couscous.
Or garlic powder.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So obviously, we're gonna, before we get too far into our own opinions on this, we should definitely check into what the opinions say on the review sites, right, Curtis? See what other people are saying.
Ooh, I have to agree to that. And as always, these are the online opinions of other stoners online, and we are stoners online, giving our opinions to the online.
Opinions.
Ooh, I need to get my lungs back. But as for this purple train wreck, the general consensus is that it's a stimulating cerebral high. The low THC gives it a nice, relaxing physical feel, which
Right.
I can definitely agree to. I'm not limp, I'm not couch locked, but I don't want to fucking move.
Yeah, if you don't have to.
A, the weed, and B, the sound quality would be terrible.
Yeah. That's why we don't review crack on the podcast, right? Because the audio quality would be terrible if we were running through the hallways screaming at the top of our lungs into the microphone.
Oh yeah, can you hear me from the bathroom? As I'm
Yeah. Can you hear me
anyway.
when I'm on the roof?
Can you hear me from across the street?
Yeah.
Is he under the house again?
Yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, no, that's
But, so
yeah.
it's good physical feel, relaxing. It's good for stress, anxiety, and insomnia. Not a whole lot on the downsides for it. Not a couple people saying they're dry mouth, the munchies, the typical
Yeah.
marijuana stuff. But
Yeah,
in
traditional.
particular, I also have one specific review here that I pulled off of Leafly that
Oh,
I
I
would
love specific reviews.
I would love to share this one with you.
All right, here, hit me up.
Dude, if you plan on seeing your girl in the near future, start away from this because no matter how sexy she is, you gonna make an excuse to stay home and not give a fuck. Also, I learned how to make the greatest pillow fort in all the land. No girls allowed, just me and my dog Jack. To be fair, he came up with the password, so I had to let him in. 320 people found that helpful. And 321.
And 322.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, no, that was a very helpful review. I like that.
Very helpful.
Concise.
Yeah. How is people reviewing that the Sonic Express?
The Sonic Express. Well, with the Sonic Express, honestly, it's a fairly straightforward a sativa review. They're saying that it's uplifted, euphoric, happy, high energy, focused. Like all
Not
of
to
those
be
things
around-
are startling, except for all of them.
Right. Not to downplay the weed because I'm sure it's good.
Because I'm sure it's fantastic because all the reviews say it's really good. Like all of them say that it's very good at all of those things, but that's literally what every sativa says.
Effects are generic.
Yeah. So they're pretty generic terminology. So frankly, I'm looking forward to seeing what it really does to me and how it affects me personally. I don't have any badass reviews like yours had. That review, nothing can beat that. But some reviews did say it has a nice solid head high. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, it sounds like it's a nice strong. I think it's 22 to 23% THC strain. So
I got a nice low one, but like I said, 2 hits of it. It definitely puts an effect on you. It doesn't get you
can
fucked
feel
up,
it. You can feel it. Well, it doesn't. Well, it's always it's the terpenes and everything else and that kind of thing, right? The THC. A lot of
I just
people
realized
we
have to smoke
THC.
a full fucking joint of this. This is gonna.
Yeah, we
I don't
do.
know how this is
do.
gonna be effective.
This is gonna be absolutely magnificent. I'm personally really looking forward to burning the joint of mine. On it. Wait, yeah, no, you got your joint there, right? It says,
I got my joint. Yep,
oh,
I got my that 20.
Hmm.
So, yep. And before we burn these, we just want to remind everybody: like, comment, subscribe, share. Facebook.
Yeah, check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook, just everything. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, like you should give them a shout out as a really cool, service for hosting our podcast. Because
wherever you listen to your podcast, wherever you enjoy your content, whatever social media you look at while you're on the toilet.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, just follow us there. Follow us on the toilet, just like Chris said.
Because it's time. It's time to do that. But also, it's 4:20 somewhere.
It's true.
With that being said, light us out, buds. Let's blaze it.
Let's blaze it. Oh yeah, man! Holy shit, buddy!
Very nice, very nice.
Dude, Curtis, that lemon flavor comes out nice, and it's like that. This is a well-rounded flavor. I mean, I might be a little bit biased towards, the flavor when it comes to joints, but that's nice, man.
I really hope I survive this podcast.
I believe in you, my friend. I've seen you take more than that. But
I'll be good.
Yeah,
We're
but
seasoned here, just like garlic powder.
yeah, we're seasoned just like garlic powder. We're seasoned too. Electric Boogaloo. But but yeah, man. So what are you burning out of today? You know I'm smoking OCBs. I just posted earlier today on Instagram at GoodBudShank about the fact that I always smoke OCBs pretty much on the podcast.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you switched
as
up though. What are you burning?
and we talked about earlier, fucking the change they made to the paper and stuff. But this,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it was magnificent.
what I'm burning out of is a Juicy J maple syrup flavored.
Hey,
The thing is, I took the smell of it and I'm like, it smells like breakfast. Emphasize that. I need pancakes to go with it.
you are a brilliant man. I caught on to that. I caught that because you had said the breakfast thing, and then you had the maple syrup paper. I like because you guys can't see. I have the benefit of seeing Curtis's beautiful face while we do this podcast, and you can see it too if you go subscribe at YouTube in animated form. But I get to like look at Curtis while we're recording this, right? And I could see he had a different type of paper there in his hand, and I was like, "What is that?" So I had to ask him what it was, right? And if you guys are interested in seeing this kind of thing in the future, convince all of your friends to subscribe to us because eventually, when we hit some arbitrary number, we're gonna, eventually start letting you guys see what we look like.
Mm.
But I get to see it, and I could see that he was holding a different kind of joint there, right? So, and that's cool, man. That's smart. That's brilliant. Doing the maple syrup thing, like in the breakfast thing.
Oh yeah,
Big brain move. Big brain.
and just incentive. I'm gonna take a picture right now for the gram while we're
Oh, he's going to
recording.
take a picture. He's taking a picture for the gram as we're recording this episode, folks. So this is amazing. You're going to see this on Instagram well before this, not well before, but before this episode comes out. And that's the thing, man. Is if you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this podcast with all of your friends. Like eventually we'll start doing more like streaming and face stream stuff. We'll have like pretty much what we got going right now on the screen going on. On video format for you beautiful folks. We'll add some flashy effects and stuff like that. I don't know. Like maybe
It'll
I'll
be
be on
nice.
fire. Maybe I'll be on fire or something.
Not again.
Not again. Oh, that's, by the way, ad run coming here on Facebook pretty soon. You guys have to check out the video, even though it is an ad run and stuff like that, to try to get people to go and subscribe to our YouTube, which they should. It is the most entertaining.
We're still posting it on Facebook and YouTube anyway, just for the
watch
fuck
it
of
for
it.
the sake of watching it, because I showed it to my other half earlier today, actually, Curtis. I haven't even told Curtis this yet.
Oh God.
She doubled over laughing within the first quarter of a second.
I knew it.
As soon as I hit play on that ad and that first moment played, she doubled over laughing. I had to pause it and go back so that she could actually watch the ad.
Because no one expects how amazing it is.
So hard. She was laughing, and it's honestly, it's just like it blew my mind, man. Like your editing skills are getting like better and better every time we make something new. And like it's just I love the fact that our audience is growing with our quality of our content. Like you can just see the quality growing and our audience growing, and it's like
exactly.
I don't know.
That's why
I
we
don't know
always.
Whether
That's another reason. Even though that's why some people who have been here for a little bit are like, why do they keep wanting us to go back to the old podcast? It's not that we want you to. We want the new people who haven't to go back and watch the old ones.
Yeah, because I know that this might be the first episode for some people tuning in right now. They might click on Anchor and see this episode. And honestly, awesome. Thank you for joining us. I'm happy to have you here, and thank you for listening. We might have a few in jokes that you don't necessarily get yet, but like I do encourage you to go back and check out the old episodes, because like sometimes even I do that. Like I'll go back. I was actually, Curtis and I were talking about that a few days ago, how I went back and checked out the old podcasts and like the early advertising material and stuff that we made, and like just where we were and where we are now. And it's like the difference is awesome.
And on top of that, I think we can apply this to, maybe a broader audience. If you're out there and you're doing something and you're not sure if you're getting better or anything like that, go back on your old stuff, look at that, and just be happy if you have done anything better in that time. If you're sticking with the same content, you're not happy, make that change. If you have made a significant improvement since your beginning, you have made a complete change. And all you can do is move forward from there.
Yeah,
It's even the same with me because, I mean, to be completely honest, the first foray I had at editing was when I was like 12 years old making videos on early YouTube, where if you could edit any kind of video together,
if you deep
more
dive,
than
guys, you might
likely,
find them.
yeah, no, they're completely blacklisted now.
Oh, they gone. They
They
gone.
gone. But even in those early videos when I was, doing it by myself or helping friends edit little skits together or doing all these, little skits and stuff like that for myself, I just always learn these little things. And, I still have one copy of a very first video I ever edited. And compared to that, I love what I love what I can do now.
Now, we haven't talked about this beforehand, so feel free to say no. But Curtis, if we get ourselves to 1,000 subscribers, would you throw up a heavily edited version of that to our YouTube?
Of what, my first video?
Of your first ever video made? Just like go back to it. Like you can blur faces or whatever you want to do, or edit things how you want to.
No, because the general
1,000 subs.
The general consensus of the actual video makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
That's the point. That's the point. We're talking about going back, man. Like I honestly, I wish.
No, I will be honest.
I will be honest.
No,
I will look for the earliest track of mine
with
me singing that I can find, and I'll post that on YouTube. If we get to 1,000 subs,
5,000.
I'll find the most embarrassing.
5,000 subs.
5,000. We get to 5,000 subs. I will find the most embarrassing because I know they're out there. They're on YouTube right now. I will find them. And I will get them, and it'll be awesome. I will post the most embarrassing one I can find. I think it's called Stilton Bikinis. I think is the song called. It's an original song called Stilton Bikinis, and it's terrible.
My video, the first video no, those are completely gone. The first video I could really get is, I call it Morning Commute.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the earliest video I can get.
Just the name makes me excited. Just the name of that alone makes me excited. I love it.
Anyway,
5,000 subscribers, and we might do that if we remember to do it. You guys call us out on it. If we hit 5,000 subs and we haven't done that, just call us out on it. But no, that's and I agree with Curtis. Like that is a great metric for how to judge like yourself. Like don't base yourself off of what other people have accomplished in the time that you've been doing anything. Go based off of how much you personally have grown, or even like, because with my music, like I haven't like amped it up in the past couple of years, but I've experimented a lot with different avenues, and some of them have been successful and some of them haven't. And that's 100% fine. Like I have fun with it regardless, right? And so it's like a good metric is to look back at the stuff that like the first stuff I made was, for all intents and purposes, hot garbage, and I loved it at the time. I still love it to this day when I listen to it. You can't. Nobody's allowed to say you're not allowed to love hot garbage, right?
Especially if it's yours.
Exactly. Oscar the Grouch loved hot garbage, so I'm allowed to as well.
Fucking lived in it.
Damn fucking right. So the way I always feel about it is that when I listen to my old music and everything, if I showed people that and I was like, yeah, I just made this, they'd be like, really? Like, I thought you were experienced and had practiced and stuff. This sounds like it was made by someone who was just smacking two things together trying to make noise, right? And so it was a lot of fun though, and I never made a ton of money off of it or anything like that, but it's, I made some, like a little bit here and there, but like, it's not about money isn't a good measure of success. Like your joy with what you're doing is a measure of success. And like, to be fair, this podcast, like, I'm so happy we've got an audience and the people are listening to us and everything. But even if it was just me and you, like shouting into like cyberspace, I'd be having a great time doing it.
Fuck, that was our first 4 episodes.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. Our first 4 episodes where we were talking to nobody. Yeah.
Literally our first episode on YouTube, we're in space. We didn't even have a background yet, so we were just spinning in a void in space.
Yeah, we were just in an endless void in space, and slowly we just kind of pieced together the set, right? So
hypothetically, it was a kind of a metaphor, because we were just yelling out into space, seeing if we can go with it or if we can't. And look at this. Yeah. 23 episodes in.
Us,
Some people are listening to us. We got a good following on Facebook, Instagram, all that shit. If you're not, go subscribe.
And I only account for like 10% of the views, right? So it's like just from my rewatching of it, just to be like, I only account for like 10% maybe of the views. That's still pretty friggin' good. I don't account
Fine.
for I don't account for any of the Facebook follows, and we just broke 200 of those not long ago, and we're at like 230 follows on Facebook now.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
Which,
Thank you,
speaking of
guys.
which, any of you who are, this is your first episode because you came in from Facebook and you're interested, thank you very much. Like, we
Yeah,
really
thank you.
appreciate it. We really should have said this earlier, but
Yeah.
thank you very much.
The outpouring of just in a month's time, we grew more than we did in an entire season. And it's in a week, we grew almost as much as we did in an entire season, and we can't thank you enough for that. That's fantastic. It's just
Exactly. And we hope
we
that
hope
this
to keep growing like
exactly. And
that. Yeah.
just
I want to
hope
be
that-
like Mr. Beast and start being able to give you guys a ton of money, right? So
you guys select, hit the button. You can either get $10,000 cash or 10,000 jars of a mystery substance. Is it
And I
weed?
guarantee-
It's more than likely weed.
it's more than likely weed. I'll take the jar. Why is
You
it
just
gets-
won $10,000 worth of marijuana.
You just won $10,000 worth of gloop. Why is it moving on its own? We don't ask questions to the gloop. But yeah, we seriously we really appreciate it, and that's the cool thing is, frankly, I love doing this.
I mean, we already are kind of
yeah.
philanthropists. We have, fun fact, we actually, in an older episode, there was a fund that you could donate to for UK to get proper THC oil treatment to
Yeah.
the UK in
Yeah.
certain areas and certain aspects. We donated
Yeah.
$50 when we were making zero profit.
We were making not a single dollar, and we hadn't made a penny from the. Actually, to be fair, we still haven't. Actually, I think we just our Patreon, our patron Isaac,
Yes.
helped us to actually literally we just got in the green, I think, on the podcast now for that, and frankly it's fine, and considering the cost of the cannabis, because that's not reimbursed at all or anything else, we're not, and I mean, you guys can donate if you want to, or don't if you don't. Just hit the like button, that's free, right?
Exactly.
We appreciate it. And that just kind of eventually sponsored. We've got two awesome sponsors right now. We've got Lumen Spot, which if you go to their website, you can get a discount.
We'll tell them
Tell you more
about that. And
after.
actually, we're
Well-
running relatively close to that, so hold for a
Yeah.
second.
But
But
hold for a second on that thought, guys. But we've
Yeah,
got two
Lumen
awesome
Spot,
sponsors who are
My High
fantastic.
Shop.
Lumen Spot and My High Shop. They're great. They're great companies. They've got great goods. And they're helping us out to kind of if you guys go to them and you shop through them, you're helping us out big time. So that's, you don't have to personally, you don't have to buy anything from them, but if you look at their site, you'll probably want to.
Right.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah. Damn, this weed is fucking phenomenal though.
Yeah, man, I'm
Great.
loving this.
Exactly. See, now I
Yep.
just want to eat donuts and watch Mr. Beast videos because you said Mr. Beast.
Because I said Mr. Beast.
That's a fucking legend.
Speaking of which, Mr. Beast, if you're listening to our podcast, man, hit us up, bro. We will. Don't give us money. Just we'll talk to you. Come on and talk to us. That'd be awesome. We're big fanboys. Not gonna lie, Curtis more so than I am. He lives nearby. I don't live that
I
close,
don't
right?
live, I live in fucking Michigan, bro. He's in North Carolina.
Well, I mean, nearby is in you could reasonably drive there in probably
Couple days.
a couple days. I mean, closer than me. Curtis lives closer to you than I do.
I am
So-
one less Niagara Fall away, so
Yeah, he's one less Niagara Fall away from you. But yeah, so I mean, that'd be fantastic. If we would love to just have people on for interviews. Just to,
Which, speaking of which, we are open for interviews, and like we said at the beginning, we got a little too high and forgot for this episode. So
this week, yeah.
if you are interested and maybe got some funny stories, or you're got something interesting, leave us a like, leave us a
Anything,
comment, let us
literally
know.
anything.
And,
If you want
we
to talk
might-
about anything,
might be able to get some of y'all on, get you for some questions.
yeah.
We'd love to hear
Yeah.
from y'all.
No, yeah, that would be fantastic. But I know that it's there's a lot of interesting people out there, and we definitely do have some great guests in the future. We've had some great guests, and a couple great guests so far this season with Isaac. and
Biggs.
and Biggs, which is Biggs, a great guy. Check out his SoundCloud. We posted it on the last episode. Go check out the interview. We had a great time. Like, he was an awesome guy, great cat. We're having him on again in the future.
But
yeah. And Biggs, if you're listening to this right now, I still am confused about the $, and I have a couple more questions for next time.
All these questions and more on a future episode of the Good Buds podcast.
Damn right. Damn right.
And just like that, I am now the announcer for this podcast. Bum, bum,
bum, bum, bum.
Which means it is now time.
Voice reminds me of something, yeah.
Which now means we need to run an advertisement. We will hear back from you after this moment.
Do you like fashionable and unique clothing? Do you like things that shine super bright when exposed to light? Do you like discounts? Do you like advertisements that ask, do you like, over and over, knowing there is no direct way for you to answer back? If you answered yes to all of these questions, or even just the first 3, check out lumenspot.com for some lit clothing and accessories, and use the code GoodBudsPodcast at the checkout for 50% off and free shipping. Thank you, Lumenspot, for sponsoring us, and thank all of you for listening. Check it out today with the link below in the description.
Ha, very nice, very nice. So, Shank, a lot going on in the world, isn't there?
There is a lot going on in the world, man. Like, it's a crazy place. 2020 though, man. I mean, 2021's it's not really pulling its weight. It's got people were saying it's going to be crazier than 2021, but I don't know. There's a few things going on I think we should talk about though.
And I absolutely agree with that. I am stuck in announcer voice, which works perfectly because we are about to get to Weed News Worldwide. So, our first story today comes to us from Marijuana Moment. And the story is, Illinois awards $31.5 million in marijuana-funded grants to repair communities harmed by drug war.
Nice.
Now,
that sounds fantastic.
Absolutely. Now, in this fantastic news break that we have, Illinois officials announced on Thursdays that the state is distributing $31.5 million in grants funded by marijuana tax revenue to communities that have been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. Which is, awesome, because that's what the fucking money was meant for in the first place.
I know, that's magnificent. That just and I say that all the time, that if the states that are hesitant to legalize cannabis because they're worried about costs really are underestimating the amount of money they can make from cannabis. It's like they're always like, oh, it'll tax our blah 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 system. It's like, you realize that you can just throw money at it until it shuts up, right? Like, you'll have so much money. Like, Colorado was
exactly.
Like, our roads are broken. Okay, let's fix all the roads. And they're like, the roads are fixed. What do we do now? They're like, shut up, take money, shut up.
Yep. So that's essentially what Illinois is essentially doing right now. So the funds are part of the state's Restore, Reinvest, and Renew program, R3. And nice. This was established under Illinois' adult use cannabis legalization law. It requires 25% of marijuana tax dollars to be put into a fund and used to provide disadvantaged people with services such as legal aid, youth development, community reentry, and financial support. So, apparently,
that is exactly the kind of community program the world needs right now.
Exactly. 80 organizations that offer such services for eligible communities were chosen by the R3 board. And grant recipients include local governments, faith-based organizations, and businesses. So youth groups, churches, YMCAs, stuff like that. I mean the good ones, not the not the 80s ones.
I was just in general. No. YMCAs are fine. I think YMCAs, even though they are even though they are technically a Christian thing, but whatever. But the way I'm really iffy about churches. That's the thing, is most churches are fine. Community churches I can 100% get on board with, because most of the time they act as just overall community center type, helping areas. But I am of the opinion that those mega churches and shit should not be tax free and get federal aid. I don't think they should get tax money if they don't pay taxes, because taxes are kind of for people that pay taxes. But at the same time, if there's good reasons for community churches to be tax free, and they use that money for the community, and that's beautiful. I think that's always
And
going to be a good thing.
it looks
Any
like that
organization that helps people.
as of right now, it
I
looks
can,
like
yeah.
that is the case. It looks like
I'll
that's
never
the
knock,
fact
yeah,
where
I'll never knock
okay.
anything, and I'm sure that all the
So-
organizations are being vetted, and that's awesome. Like that's really great.
Right. So yeah, this all this organization will be, I don't want to say specifically, but it is kind of specifically towards African American neighborhoods because they are ones that have been
Disproportionately have been targeted by like
exactly. I mean,
it's no surprise or it's no hidden fact. Like anybody who knows about marijuana and cannabis history knows that the drug war was a race war initially, and it was
exactly
wrong.
yeah.
It's wrong from the start. It's
Now
wrong now.
I'm not.
So I'm glad
That statement is not specifically a marijuana moment. That is a statement that I
that's
will
a
say
personal
because,
statement. Yeah, personal statement.
but also on that personal statement, Black Lives Matter.
Damn right. I am behind that shit. Black Lives Matter.
So if you would like to read the full story, full statement, again, that's on Marijuana Moment. And yeah, that is very fantastic news for Illinois.
Yeah, that is fantastic news, man. That's fantastic news. And honestly, speaking of the money that they're going to be making from this and the way that they're going to be redistributing that money, I have an awesome story about redistributing money as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. This is a Canadian story. Because apparently Canadian cannabis stocks have been popping off.
Oh god.
Yeah, not literally. I mean,
no, I mean like
not a messy way.
You just said stocks in general, and I'm
stonks. I know, right? I know.
I know
stonks.
what's in the fucking.
You know what's coming.
News.
You know what's coming. Yeah. So, and everybody who's been reading news knows about the GameStop shit that's been going on and everything else and that kind of thing, right? So, essentially, because of that, this is specifically because of that. Actually, it's one of the kind of like side effects. Like we're gonna start seeing ripples in the market, right? And this is one of those ripples. Is that shares in a number of cannabis companies have been on fire this week. Essentially, the article I'm reading, it comes from cbc.ca. This is directly from CBC. And what they're saying is that shares in Canadian-based cannabis companies are surging this week, partly because of a flurry of short sellers covering their bets against the stocks. So basically what's happening is because of the fact that people were short selling on GameStop, right? They were buying short stock on GameStop. And Reddit was like, "Nrrr," and used like their amazing Reddit hive mind to stonks.
Yeah.
And like, everybody knows what happened. Like a bunch of hedge funds went broke. So essentially, they owned these cannabis companies, had a bunch of people who owned short stocks in them, right? Like they owned these short stocks. And suddenly they're all selling. Like they're selling a bunch and they're trading a bunch and they're buying a bunch and they're moving stuff around.
Trying to secure their stocks.
Trying to secure their stocks and get it into a market that's more
stable.
Diverse.
At the time.
Or stable.
Diverse and stable.
Yeah, diverse and stable at this given time. So, and also because the U.S. lawmakers are currently, like we've covered it in the past, they're starting to like talk about very seriously about federal legalization. Biden, we all know Biden's a pothead. Dude doesn't need to like we know. Like, I mean, I'm not saying this again. This is not a fact. This is not a statement based on any knowledge or blah, 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 blah. I'm not like, but we all know, like looking at the dude, he's chill. He's eloquent. He's like,
let's just say he does.
Let's just say he does, even if he doesn't for the shits and giggles, but he's at least he's smart enough to know that it's smart to support it. Right. So he's not going to fight it. He's not going to be like, how much money can we make? No. Like, like he used to back in the 80s, he had some pretty crappy views. In the 70s, he had some really crappy views, but people get past that. People grow. And if you don't let people grow and learn from their past mistakes, and you keep, every time you see them, you keep pointing out their past mistakes and ignoring the progress they've made, they're not going to change. They're just going to keep staying the same. That's how you, I mean, that's how insight other people.
That's how people work. That's how you work with people. And to be honest, that's entirely how stocks works too. You got to see those changes and you got to know.
Go with the changes and treat the changes appropriately. Don't like abuse a change. Like that's what Reddit was. That's what Reddit was proving to hedge funds. Don't abuse things.
But anyway, so these stocks on the cannabis market.
These stocks on the cannabis market, the Canadian cannabis market, have blown up. 3 of the 4 biggest cannabis companies in the space, which are Tilray, Aurora Cannabis, we've talked about them in the past, and Afria. I've probably smoked weed from all 3 of those companies. Sure. They've seen their stock prices rise between 30 and 40% in the past 2 days alone.
Damn.
Yeah, 2 days alone. And a fourth major player, which is Canopy Growth, I've definitely smoked some of their cannabis, is only up by about 10%, but they're still on the upswing. So that really makes me kind of think about buying some stock in Canopy Growth, because if they're only up by 10% and they could potentially raise as much as the other companies have, then that's a good amount of profit, right?
Well,
But
let's see how the market kind of stabilizes out. But if it starts raising too much, then
yeah. Yeah, so basically,
we see.
so we'll see how it goes, but basically right now there is a bit of a squeeze going on it. Like there's a short squeeze because a lot of companies are investing in these businesses at one given time. So it is causing the price to artificially inflate by quite a bit. So once it stabilizes, we'll see. Like you said, wait until it stabilizes. I'm not normally a stock podcast, um, but we'll have like a but we'll keep an eye on that, and I might invest in that in the future, and that'd be pretty sweet thing too. And of course, like this is from like cbc.ca. We'll have the link below in the description so you can check it out more, because frankly I really don't know a whole lot about stonks, so you'll have to read up more on this. But all I do know is that this says that they have been blowing up. It's largely because after rocketing to all. Okay, wait, what was it? Yeah. So essentially, cannabis prices plateaued after Canada legalized marijuana. Right, we legalized it. They went up. They went up. They kind of plateaued, and they were fluctuating a little bit, but not a whole bunch. But the fact that that America is legalizing right now and working on federal legalization, it's just causing these companies to essentially, you know, ex- expand their operations quite a bit.
Very
Even with
nice.
Corona going on, which is fantastic because, as we've said before, cannabis is an essential industry.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. But I'm afraid to say that there's maybe a well-known country that might have to disagree with that for our next story.
Oh
And
yeah,
not really country, more or less city.
a
So,
city in a yeah,
and it's
city
in
in
a
the
weird way.
Netherlands.
So what possibly? So, apparently there's talks right now for Amsterdam possibly banning tourists from their cannabis coffee shops. Again, if you don't
uh,
know, this is something that happens every once in a while because of some things that are factual, some things that are thrown around. But the
Honestly, a lot of tourists are idiots though too, so I
the
can't blame them.
essential the essential reason for this is obviously there's a lot of tourists that are coming around, and well, in the past it's mainly been a bunch of young tourists coming to Amsterdam specifically just to smoke weed and go get hookers and stuff like that in the red area or whatever, red light
Yeah, red
district.
light district. Yeah.
But so they've had reasonable thought processes before where it's just like, you know what, maybe we should ban tourists so that way it's just for locals only, just for Netherland, natives. So again, this plan is in effect right now. Uh, Now, the mayor of Amsterdam, Femke Halsema, has proposed a plan expected to be passed by the city that would only allow marijuana products to be sold to Dutch nationals and residents of the Netherlands. Uh, Ms. Halsema wants to stop the flow of young tourists visiting Amsterdam just to smoke marijuana and to undermine the criminal organizations that control the drug trade.
Okay, so what he's saying, let me paraphrase this for other people.
She.
Or what she's sorry, I apologize. What she's saying, I'll paraphrase, is we would like to stop tourist income from coming to our city and spend more money fighting a criminal organization that only exists because we aren't taking the tourist money and putting it into growing legal cannabis.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
Yeah.
so the
Okay.
mayor of Amsterdam has made this proposal, but the vote has not gone through the city council yet. Approval from the municipal council is not necessary. In the field of safety, the mayor has an independent authority. If the police and the public prosecution service continue to support the introduction of the resident criterion, Halsema can continue with the plans. So
I mean,
essentially, she
yeah.
can go against the city council if police and everybody else is on board.
And
But
ultimately, I almost forgot for a moment. I almost forgot. Right now, I kind of agree with her. I think that everybody should be banned from
Specifically,
going
right-
and sitting in it. I think everybody should be banned from going and sitting in coffee shops and smoking weed because they're going to be coughing all over the place. And if, they're
this
tourists,
if this was about Corona, I absolutely would 100% be like, duh.
like it
Why
is
was this
Rona
not already?
times.
why
It
was
is
this
Rona
not-
times. So I mean, why are the coffee shops not already shut down? Like that just seems
Exactly.
like we cough
And
a
yes,
lot on the
this is-
podcast, and we're alone. Like I'm
Right.
alone in my office right now. So
And yes, this
like,
is a recent news article, so it's not like
might
you know.
be it might be spun because of Rona. They should have put more of like a she might have maybe the mayor is just not good at letting people know her intentions, and she didn't say because of COVID we don't think tourists should be
Right.
allowed in. And I
Now-
would 100% behind that, but I don't know if that's the
Now
case.
it's not 100% whether or not this will or will not go through, or even if it does, if it's just going to be for a little bit, like
Yeah.
it has been at some times where it's just been enforced briefly and then
Mhm.
wasn't enforced and then wasn't really cared about at all. But with cannabis not being as obviously disruptive as, say, alcohol, which is obviously more destructive and you can get that a little bit more.
It's fully legal. Yeah, you can literally you need to drink that. It's like you have to drink it. It's like
But even then, New York Times showed that they did their own research. 57% of foreigners visiting the center of Amsterdam say that visiting a coffee shop is a very important reason for their visit. Unmentioned is that 22% cited cannabis as the main reason for their visit.
I know, literally, they're like, hey, you know, our city is literally known for weed tourism. Why don't we
50%,
make it illegal?
57% just
And-
want to visit your store. 22% are there just for your cannabis.
And this is the funniest thing too, because if they make it illegal for non-nationals to go into cannabis shops, like in order to try to stem the black market, literally all they're doing is opening a new revenue stream for the black market because now not only do they just wholesale the weed to the
Right.
markets to sell, right? Like because apparently I guess that's what's happening, right? Is that these like illegal
Yeah.
grows are selling to the cannabis cafes and they're letting people buy them, right? So now what they're doing is they're making it so that not only are they able to wholesale the weed, but they can also open a subtle fucking cafe of their own and like
Well-
sell their own like weed in their own cannabis cafes that they have like underground, like hidden like black market cannabis
it's not-
cafes. They're gonna pop
mean,
up.
I mean, it wouldn't even be that. It would, well, yeah, some would probably
Like,
pop up,
yeah,
but
they'd
kind
pop
of like
up, man, like-
speakeasies,
That's what I mean,
smokeasies.
like they're gonna have a smoke easy. You know it would pop up because those
but
things
anyway-
are really popular in Europe, like little kind of like
But no,
hidden
what-
clubs.
What would more than likely happen
I've
is
seen
just,
it hostile.
I know, but what more than likely would just happen is just a guy from the Netherlands walking into one of these stores, buying a bunch of weed, then going outside and selling it to the tourists.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah,
being like,
and that
"Hey,
would just
look,
cause a
that-
bunch of illegal problems. Like
Exactly. Hey, look, there's a coffee shop, but you can walk down that way and there's like an actual coffee shop that doesn't
Yeah.
sell pot, but you can still
Yeah.
get coffee.
Yeah, you can go get coffee. Just go buy coffee and then go smoke in the park, you know? Like fucking and then you got the problem of the tourists being out and about walking around town smoking, you know? Like I mean,
Exactly.
come on. It's just I don't know, there's so many you can poke so many holes in this. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
but
yeah, that's just a city that, like we said, needs to chill the fuck out.
well, I absolutely couldn't agree more. But speaking of a city that needs to chill out, I would love to talk about a state that needs to chill the fuck out.
Oh, really?
Texas. Texas, I love you.
Yeah.
You are a big, beautiful state. Like you got coastline and everything. You're beautiful. But chill the fuck out, okay? Because right now I got a story. It's kind of a feel-good story because it's something that I have hope for, especially with cannabis legalization on a federal level coming. I have hope for this case. But it's about the Cedar Park mom. This is from KVUE, by the way. This is where the article's from. It's from a Cedar Park mom from Texas, and she's working with Texas Original Compassionate Cultivation, which is an organization that helps people get cannabis and CBD products and stuff like that for medication.
Right.
If they're medically qualified.
Close.
And yeah, and so this Cedar Park mom is really thankful for this company, and she's talking with Texas lawmakers right now. And they're back in session because some of their bills have to do with medical marijuana reform.
Nice.
Yeah, which is fantastic. They are working on medical marijuana reform, and they need it right now because their legislation isn't quite up to par. You know, it isn't quite up to where it should be, especially with, you know, such a forward-thinking state like Texas, right? If anybody right now is listening to this podcast from Texas, it's a forward-thinking state, right? So remember the past, but think to the future, and or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, this Texas Original Compassionate Cultivation, or TOC, as I'm going to call them from now on, because I don't feel like reading that out. It's too many syllables. They are trying to remove restrictions on qualifying conditions and eliminate the THC cap on medications, because right now there's a maximum THC level they can go to, and it ain't high enough.
Right.
And so basically, essentially, there was a woman, her name is Carissa Barenblatt. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She said, the idea that I would give my child marijuana, are you kidding? Said mother Carissa Barenblatt. That's not something I came lightly to. But her 5-year-old child suffers from multiple different illnesses. His name is Max. Cool kid. Go Max. He has a rare disorder called Fragile X syndrome. He also has hydrocephalus, so he has had a couple of brain surgeries. If you know what that is, it's pretty not great. If you don't know what it is, don't Google it if you want to have a good day. But he's had a couple of brain surgeries, and he has a primary immune deficiency, and he has epilepsy. This kid is having a hard go, right?
Oh yeah.
But basically, he was like self-injuring himself, and they couldn't think of anything. This mom traveled all over the country looking for advice from different consultations and specialists, and she went to Colorado.
Right.
My man. She went to Colorado, and a specialist in Colorado suggested medical marijuana, and it completely changed their lives. She said it gives her child back. It gives me my child back, said Barenblatt. He is much more verbal. He's more conversant. He can tell me how he's feeling and what he's thinking about. Like he can talk. He can interact with her. He's not constantly having seizures or hurting himself. And now he's 10. He's lived to be 10 years old. He's still trucking. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
His medication got cut down from to 4 prescriptions. So like he was on a shit ton before. He's down to 4 now. And that includes the medical marijuana he takes in oil form. So that's 4, including the oil. So that's pretty awesome. And so they've been getting his THC oil from TOC. And it's one of only 3 licensed medical marijuana producers that are in Texas, right?
Right.
And essentially, after seeing how much it turned Max's life around, Barenblatt and TOC are working with different legislators in hope that they can remove restrictions on qualifying conditions, and putting the power to prescribe the life-changing medication back in doctors' hands. Because right now there's a whole bunch of specific requirements you need to meet before you can get the prescription. And it's okay having a list of needs, but having a list of needs that's so narrow that it can only be met by the most severe of severe cases is not going to help anybody.
Right.
It might help those severe of severe cases, but by that point they're already medicated on different things, and a lot of the time it's not suggested to them. So that's really just a way of saying, yeah, we let this one dude have it, so we allow people to have it, right? And it's kind of a cop out. And I agree with TOC and Barenblatt there that they need to kind of put the power back into a doctor's hands for that doctor to sit down with the patient and decide on a patient-to-patient basis whether they should be given this, right? Max could have gotten that a lot sooner. He might not have had to travel from specialist to specialist.
And not to mention with the THC cap, that's got to be a fucking wouldn't that be a large amount of oil and like other filler and stuff just to get the same amount of dosage? Like if you need a 10, like let's say you need a 10 milligram dosage and their cap is only at 2 milligrams, that means you'd have to take like a fuck ton more rather than just taking a single drop of 10 milligram THC.
I know, absolutely. And CBD and THC are both very important in cannabis, right? Like as a medication. It's like certainly CBD has its benefits. THC also has its benefits. So both of them in tandem oftentimes work much better than just CBD, right? So it's like, but all I know is that the TOC CEO, his name is Morris Denton. Denton said Texas has one of the most restrictive medical cannabis programs in the country. To get a medical cannabis prescription in Texas, you must be diagnosed with one of these specific conditions: epilepsy, a seizure disorder, multiple sclerosis, spasticity. I didn't know you could still say that these days. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. That's a hard one. Autism, terminal cancer, an incurable neurodegenerative disease.
Kind of a limited, but still
I mean, it covers some good
severe
ones.
list.
I mean, definitely. I mean, some of them should be on there, but like they should be on there. But I mean, like they need a more open list. They need to like a doctor see a patient and decide whether it works for their patient. You know, because opioids would be like not nearly as much of a problem if a doctor was like, man, have some CBD or have some weed, like have some of this THC oil, take some of that. If you start feeling pain, just take a few drops, wait, let it kick in, and like they
Happens.
instead of being like little white pill that I'm only going to give you for a month and then you're never getting it again unless you go get it from
Exactly.
somebody on the street, right? Like, I mean, it makes sense. Come on. And so Texas is working with it, which is good. Talk and other people are working towards talking to legislators and getting them to essentially up the dosage of THC that's in there so that kids like Max and adults and teens and anybody who needs it can get access and get the proper dosages for this
Right.
cannabis to be able to maintain their treatment, because it like like I said, this is on
Hopefully-
KVU.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say this is on KVUE, and there are some really great pictures here on the website. If you go there, there'll be a link in the description. You can check it out. There are some great descriptions of like essentially the difference, like because in Oklahoma, the amount of oil that you need to receive a dose of 10 milligrams of THC is like itty bitty, and the amount that you need in Texas is essentially 2 full syringes worth, right? So it's like it's
whole bunch of
insane,
extra filler and extra bullshit
bunch,
that they don't need
whole
to be.
bunch.
So hopefully they
Exactly.
can get their regulations in set, and hopefully they take framework from other states that have already implemented a way better medical system.
100%,
But-
100, and they are
and
working on it,
hopefully-
and it's fantastic. Yeah,
And hopefully the rest of the country can follow suit, and love to see what happens with that. Great.
yeah, and it's
great for the
absolutely.
medical cannabis community.
Absolutely, and good for Max. Like I'm happy
Absolutely.
for I hope that kid keeps on fighting, and I hope he has a
You are a
good,
solid good bud.
healthy. Yeah, he's a good bud, and I hope he has a good happy happy life, and cannabis helps him with that, right? And his mother is obviously beyond happy that he's been able to get his life back, and he's growing, and and doctors say he's doing really well.
Very nice, very nice. And with all
Feel
that,
good at the end there.
a nice little feel-good story to end out the weed news. So, I think it's time that we run a quick little ad.
Hey buds, you really want to show off your love of marijuana, or just really shine at your next smoke session? You really want to go to myhighshop.com for some of the coolest cannabis clothing and accessories. They have shirts, sweats, jewelry, grinders, and even pipes made out of amethyst crystals. You can check them out using the link below and let them know I sent you by using code GoodBudsCurtis at checkout. You can save 35% off your entire order and free shipping. Again, that's code GoodBudsCurtis at checkout. Thank you to myhighshop.com, and let's get back to the show.
Oh man, I love that one. That's always a fantastic advertisement. So
Yeah.
Curtis, it is that time in the episode, my friend. I know we switched it up a little bit and flipped the script, but how you feeling today, my friend?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. No, I'm not going into a sea shanty. I see shanty. I'm not doing that.
Sea shanty. Oh, I be
Oh,
feeling
sea
really
shanty.
good. I'm gonna
Yep.
smoke some more dank now.
Anyway, don't tempt me. But nah, I'm feeling nice, good. And like they said, fucking a nice, kind of alert but focused-ish cerebral head high. A nice physical, relaxing body high. Not really drifting or anything like that, but still get up if I wanted to. But
Yeah, I don't wanna.
so yeah. But no, I'm feeling pretty good. Still very nice train. Very nice on that purple train wreck.
Nice, man.
How about you, man? How are you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling fantastic. Honestly, I am really, I'm loving the hell out of this weed. Definitely the description fits it. You know, it is very happy, uplifting, euphoric kind of weed, but it's I like the energy of it. I like the vibe. The overall vibe of it is very loose. You know what I mean? It's not like a floaty high, but like it's like I feel, you know, those clips of, like, I'm not a UFC fan at all. I do not enjoy
Right.
seeing people punch each other for any reason. It's just not something that gets my jimmies. But you know, like, I think it's the Conor McGregor walk. Is that the one where he like swings his shoulders like he's friggin' like his arms aren't even attached to his body? Is that the one?
I think.
One of those UFC
I'm not.
fighters. I've seen it on memes. He walks across the ring and it's like his arms aren't even attached at the sockets. He's just like flopping them around, and that's how I feel loose. Like I feel like I could flop a little bit, but very focused at the same time, which is weird. Like Woody in Toy Story. Like he's always got
Wacky
a
waving
janky,
inflatable arm flailing tube, man.
yes, wacky waving arm flailing inflatable tube, man. That's exactly it. So that's exactly how I feel. It's fantastic vibe. And dude, yeah, I enjoy this strain. I cannot recommend Sonic Express highly enough. That's number 516 Sonic Express. All aboard!
All aboard.
All aboard! Sonic Express, all aboard!
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, no, it's great, man.
Oh yeah. So, with all that being said, we didn't schedule an interview.
Yeah, no, we didn't schedule an interviewer, so I think it might be time for us to get into the quiz.
Quizzes.
Quiz. Yeah.
Quiz. I got snack the transition.
Oh yeah, man. Looks like a tasty ass snack, man.
So,
I'm gonna grab some of my fucking Cheetos. But yeah, so anyway, what we're going to be doing today is going to be a little bit different than our normal format. Instead of interviewing a wonderful guest, we're going to be kind of interviewing each other in a really strange way, right, Curtis?
exactly. Instead of us preparing the questions, we went on and found marijuana quizzes based on different types of things to, kind of quiz each other on our knowledge or just see how absolutely stupid these things are.
Oh, absolutely. And now we did choose like beginner level. Like these aren't like in-depth, deep knowledge about cannabis, like facts or anything. Like these are.
This isn't like, name
like
that strain just based on the picture.
Mine is like literally called True or False 10 questions to test your cannabis knowledge. And frankly,
what's your website?
It is ArkansasMarijuanaCard.com. It was the website. The link below in the description. So I'm going to be asking Curtis these questions. He's going to be asking me some.
I'm going to be asking him multiple choice questions from the teens.drugabuse.gov. So marijuana for the National Institute on Drug Abuse for Teens, the science behind drug abuse quiz for marijuana. These materials are produced by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, National Institutes of Health. They are public domain and may be reproduced without permission. So we're allowed to say this and fuck around with it as much as we want.
Yeah, we want with this. And frankly, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And if you guys like it, comment down below. Like, let us know whether you like this. Hit like on the video, subscribe, share this with your friends to see if they like it as well. Because frankly, I think this is going to be a blast. So
let's see how this goes. So
all right, Curtis, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with the first one here, Curtis. Now, it's a very, very, very very long, deep question. This goes far back to the roots of everybody when they first start smoking. True or false? The longer you hold in cannabis smoke, the higher you'll feel.
True?
False.
Really?
Yeah, we've all seen the scene in a movie or TV show where someone takes a hit, holds it in as long as they can, and then coughs it out all at once. I know this one actually myself without even reading what they've got in there. The highness, the extra highness you feel is actually from oxygen deprivation. So in a sense, this is wrong because you do feel higher.
Because
it's just not because of the weed. Like if you're holding your weed in to the point that you're holding your breath.
Technically,
But technically, this question would be true because you are feeling higher because of the fact that you're oxygen deprived from holding your breath longer. But it's got nothing to do with the actual cannabis and holding the smoke in, because when you and you do have a higher risk of hurting your lungs if you
Shank,
hold it
the
in
joke.
for longer.
Shank, the joke is on you. I both smoke weed and am a fan of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, so yes.
So the
there you
answer
go.
is true.
True.
All right.
A definitive true. Okay, cool. So
But anyway,
what
so
do you got for me?
So my first question. Are you ready for this? This is a hard hitter. So
All right,
marijuana
hold
is
on.
made up of parts of a plant called
Okay.
A. Cannabis sativa, B. Fern,
Mm.
C. Ivy.
Ooh. Okay. This is fucking tough, man. These ones, I can tell. These questions, you are hardballing me on this quiz. Now, I'm gonna have to go with A because, like, obviously, it's the only one that would make. It's like the longest answer.
It makes the most sense.
So
You know
that
what?
one?
You're correct. It's A. Cannabis sativa.
Ooh. Boom! Nailed it. Fuck yeah, Kobe.
Way to
No, that's
go.
great. Yeah, I feel like
Jesus Christ. Of course
I
it's
feel
fucking that.
accomplished. Of course
Between
it's fucking that.
Fern, Ivy, or Cannabis sativa.
To be fair though, for a moment I was thinking about Fern because sometimes I have called weed Fern in the past. So I just gotta say, that's Fern.
I mean,
Just I've been
okay.
smoking some Fern. I've done it.
What would Phineas think of that?
No, Ferb. You're thinking Ferb.
Bro, this is the family podcast.
No, you're
All right,
thinking
so what's my
refurb. Anyway, so your next question. This is fantastic. All right. Now, this one's a fairly easy one. You should get this one. Knock it out of the park. True or false? Edibles are stronger than smoking marijuana.
I'm going to answer, and I'm going to lock in the answer of true, but on a personal aspect, false, because I eat way too many of them and pass out, so I don't know if I get higher. If that makes sense.
I think that's kind of the point. Like, you can smoke
I
a bunch
don't
of
know
weed
if
and not pass out,
I
but you
don't
eat a couple edibles and you're done.
I don't know if it's the weed or the food coma because I ate a lot of them. They taste
Pretty
delicious.
sure it's both.
High amount, high velocity, high volume.
Okay, so you
fast
went with
as I
true,
can
though,
put them in me.
Okay, so you went with true though for
The answer is true.
Okay, yes, you are correct. You are
Hey.
indeed correct. The THC goes to your liver instead of going to your lungs. You metabolize it differently. You get way more delta 9 THC. Wait, no, you get 11 hydroxy THC, which is a different form of THC instead of delta 9. The delta 9 is what you get when you smoke it. But the 11 hydroxy THC is stronger than delta 9, and so it kicks you in the ass, like way harder. 10 milligram edible is way more than if you smoke 10 milligrams worth of weed, like hands down.
Okay, well,
Who smokes a milligram joint? Who smokes a 10 milligram joint?
Well, thank God you said Delta 9 or anything. So my next question for you. The chemical in marijuana that causes a user to feel high is blank. Is it A, dopamine, B, norepinephrine?
I don't even need to hear the other one, man. A's got dope in the name, right?
Are you sure you don't want to hear this last one?
I guess. I mean, I don't know if it's going to change my mind, but all right.
All right, well, number C is number C is
Number C.
Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol THC.
That sounds way too long. Like, that's like...
You're going with dopamine.
Well, I mean, it just makes more... They call it dope, right? I'm going to go with the obvious fucking answer of Delta 9 THC. Like, I mean...
Of course.
It's fucking... Come the fuck on.
Seriously, what the fuck is this goddamn quiz?
Is it A, a chicken, B, a cow, or C, cannabis indica, Northern Lights?
Which one gets you high as fuck? Chicken?
The cow. No, the cow jumps over the moon, right? So that's high as
the
fuck.
fat kid in the corner of the classroom. Chicken.
Chicken. He's a chicken. Oh man, that's magnificent. So obviously, was I right? It was C.
Of course.
Yeah, go. All right,
what was my next question?
Your next question. Now this one, I don't know if I can agree with their answer or not, but I'm going to see if you agree with their answer or not. But true or false? Marijuana cures insomnia.
Yes. True.
False, apparently.
Fuck 'em.
No, apparently no. Now hear me out. Most medical marijuana patients will feel more tired after they use cannabis. While it's true that THC can make you feel sleepy, that doesn't mean that it will actually help you sleep better. I can't agree with that. If I don't smoke weed, I can't sleep well. I wake up frequently throughout the night for miscellaneous reasons if I don't smoke weed. And that's the thing is, I mean, that's not jitteriness because I'm perfectly fine. I'm just it's just like I find that I have consistent bad dreams, for lack of a better term. And I find that when I smoke cannabis, it helps me alleviate those. It makes it so that I don't have them. I literally don't. So, and I sleep through the night, and it's wonderful. And and I know a lot of people like that. That it helps with that. And so I believe that insomnia, some people they just don't enjoy going to sleep, and cannabis helps with that.
Well,
just by getting me comfortable. If anything, by making me comfortable enough to fall asleep.
I just smoke so much that my brain's like, dude, you're just too fucking bored. Just bad.
Nope. Just like shuts off.
You're on your third bowl in your second episode of the same YouTube video.
Now they say false on this. There are some studies that show that like basically long-term use. It's better to address other issues that are leading to the insomnia, but frankly, it's 2021. Who's got time to address their issues, people? Come on now. I'm too busy. I have a podcast to record and a podcast to edit and a video games to play and a podcast to record.
Did I mention I have weed to smoke?
Did I mention that I have to smoke weed? I don't have time to deal with my issues. God. But no, seriously though, it does say false on this article. So when you read the article, it'll say false. But for the podcast opinion.
So my next question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, Shank. So on this quiz about marijuana, for this test that's about marijuana, that all the questions so far have been about marijuana. Okay. So my next question for you. Pot, grass, chronic, and Mary Jane are all slang terms for blank. Is it A, cocaine, B, marijuana, or C, tobacco?
What was A again?
Cocaine?
Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of, actually, you know what? I would be an asshole. It's obviously B, and I have a song called Mary Jane that's absolutely fantastic, and I'm probably going to share it with you buds at some point in the future.
So does Tom Petty.
But no, mine's different. His is Last Dance with Mary Jane. Mine's different. Mine's just called Mary Jane.
Anyway,
but anyway, I digress. I'm gonna go with marijuana.
You're 100% correct because nobody has ever called grass or cocaine pot.
Yeah, they've never called cocaine pot ever.
Hold up. Here's the thing. Dumb. The answer key for this specific quiz specifically states pot, grass, chronic, and Mary Jane are all slang terms for marijuana. Other street names are reefer, skunk, boom, gangster, and weed.
Wait.
I will be honest.
Back it up.
Personally, I have never heard of weed being referred to as either boom or gangster.
Back it up. Why have I never in my life ever heard anybody refer to cannabis as boom or gangster? From now on, I'm gonna relight this joint of boom I got going on here, man. I'm not going back. The switch has been flipped.
Here's the fucking man. Now the greatest part, like, first off, gangster, like
Curtis is smoking some fire gangster in this episode.
I can't do that, dude. I buy weed from Detroit.
Yeah, no, you can't say anything about gangsters. What are you smoking? I'm smoking gangsters. You're doing what? No, I don't mean that kind of smoking. I'm about to
get some boom. No, I mean I'm about to get some boom. Yeah. Oh fuck! Get away!
Get away from him. Get away,
No.
get him down.
But also, imagine like one change of word in a slang vocabulary can change a misdemeanor understanding and a walk to the back room in an airport and being full on tackled or shot by security guards. What I mean by that? What do you have in your pocket, sir? I just have I just have some weed on me. Oh, okay. Here, we'll just take you to the back room, get that off, and fucking, deal with you from there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, sir, what's in your pocket? Got some boom. Boom!
Get down!
Get on the ground, dirtbag! Fuck up!
Get him, Rocky! I thought he retired last month. Nah, they couldn't keep him home. Well, no, man, that's like, but seriously, boom. I am exclusively calling it boom and gangster from now on. Like, Curtis is smoking some fire gangster this evening, and I'm smoking some wicked boom.
This will be fun till the end of the episode.
This will be fun till the end of the episode. Yeah, it's a lot like a cartoon. By next episode, everything will be back to normal. Just like our YouTube video that you should be watching right now if you're not already. Go down to the link below in the description. You can check out our YouTube channel where you should like, comment, and subscribe. Click that little bell icon too so that you get notified when we upload new stuff, because we do that all the time, not just on Mondays, like other days too.
Got
You never know.
stuff.
You never know.
So
Cool
Shank,
stuff.
I think we're running slightly low on time, so let's quickly blast through the rest of these questions. Shank, run me
right.
through your true and false, the rest, or a couple of them real quick.
All right, I'm going to hit you with 3 more. Boom.
Okay.
All right. True or false? Cannabis is a safe way to relieve morning sickness.
Yes.
That is true, but they're saying false because they obviously didn't read the medical journals that specifically state that it's fine, just not to over smoke or deprive yourself of oxygen.
Wait.
Duh.
Smoke or just ingest THC oil?
Just THC oil would be fine. Cannabis.
THC oil would be fine. Smoking pot, that's the different story. That's the same thing.
Don't
as
smoke. Yeah, don't smoke.
Don't smoke.
Okay, next question. True or false? Marijuana makes you hungry.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, true.
Why would they?
Obviously, yeah.
Why would they create a word called the munchies? Unless
I know exactly. Duh. Okay, so true or false? CBD oil won't show up on drug tests.
I don't fucking know. Do you think I'd take those?
No,
Seriously?
it's false though. CBD will show up on drug tests. So if you're taking CBD or anything like that, just disclose it to your workplace, because it shouldn't be against the law as long as it's prescribed, right? So those are my 3 final questions that I'm going to be asking for you, Curtis, from my true or false. These things are dumb as shit.
I have 5 finishing questions that I won't even give you the answers for, and I just want to see if you can just fill in the blank.
All right, hit me.
Okay. So, delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinoid is an active ingredient in marijuana, acts on the brain by... Okay, no, this one I actually kind of have to... Okay, so never mind. So let's split that one. So while pot, grass, chronic, and Mary Jane are slang terms for marijuana, the term for a loose marijuana rolled into a cigarette is...
Joint.
That's number A.
Or a reefer.
Exactly.
A joint, a reefer, spliff.
Drivers on marijuana have an increased risk of getting into a car accident because of slower reaction time, impaired judgment, or both A and B.
Both A and B.
Oh, what do you know? It's yes.
Yeah. But that's if you obviously if you're too stoned to drive, you're too stoned to drive and you're smart enough not to. I hope. Nobody out there stoned drive if you're fucking just past your limits. Know your limits. Know yourself.
And finally, this one is going to be fucking hilarious. Which of the following is an accurate description of marijuana? The roots of the plant, Cannabis sativa. Juice extracted from the plant, Cannabis sativa. The dried, shredded leaves, stems, flowers, and seeds of the plant, Cannabis sativa.
All of the above.
I mean, hypothetically, yes, actually. I mean, everything.
All of the above. You can use the roots for tea. You can use the
juice.
The
juice is extracted.
Yeah, you can juice is extract, and you can fucking smoke the buds and the that sounds like a really shitty bag with seeds and stems and fucking leaves.
That's what they say it is. They say it's A. They say it's A. Marijuana is they think it's a dried, shredded leaves, stems, flowers, and seeds of the Cannabis sativa plant.
That's absolutely magnificent and very, very stupid.
Absolutely. I think we're running short on time here, bros. So
I agree, brother.
bong hit before we get on out of here? I got a bong.
Yes, sir. I got a bong right here, my friend.
And everybody here knows the drill. We got our lighters. We are going to light them now because we are about to blaze it.
Ooh, yeah. I am loving that Sonic Express.
One for the money. Two to end the show. And we hope you like and subscribe before you go.
Yes,
Fuck yeah.
like, comment, subscribe, share this with all your friends. We really appreciate you being here and sticking it out till the end. If you like this new segment that we threw on the end here, we may do more things like this in the future with miscellaneous different crap. We may look up different quizzes. Like, I don't even give a shit. Like, I'll
We
look
might
up
play
like,
the Cards
arbitrary
Against
ones.
Humanity. We might see what Twilight character we are. I don't fucking
Oh
know.
my God.
Send comments. Let us know what you want to see.
I bet, you know what? You strike me as a Bella.
Do you have beautiful curves?
You have gorgeous curves. But
I see
anyway,
I see you as a solid Jacob mid transformation.
yeah, I'm a little fuzzy.
Like you still got the abs and the tits, but you're a little fuzzy.
Yeah, we have abs and tits, but a little bit fuzzy. No, you're not wrong. Yeah, that seems pretty accurate. I think you're not wrong. But folks, buds, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll see you all next week, and thanks for joining us on the Good Buds podcast. Roll one for the road. See you next week.
Later, buds.
Later.